Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, that means you just missed the pre-show, which is live only on our Twitch. If you want to see the pre-show, come check us out on Twitch or watch the episode on Twitch within 2 weeks after the release of the episode. We're live every Thursday and Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Today's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. CT. But we're also live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. CT. So, you know.
Yeah.
All that fun shit.
That's a completely different show, though.
It is. Very different.
On that one, we talk about role-playing games.
Yeah. We play some roles. I'm in a weird mood tonight, just a heads up for everybody. But it's like a good weird. It's like, I'll get to it in my week, but it's like, it's been a good weird week.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Another quick reminder, too, if you want to support us, you can check us out on Patreon. And that gives you access to the Discord, where you get early access to a bunch of videos. You get to see memes that are shared by the community. And Rungren writes music and plays music very well. And he posts that stuff there and on Rumble. So you can check him out.
Yes. It's on my plan of dominating the world, which I had a lot of stuff to deal with this week, which I'll talk about by weeks. But thank you for the shout out on that.
We'll get that stuff out of the way now, and we can get into weeks.
Okay.
What you been up to this week, Rungren?
All right, I'm going first. I'll go first.
We can alternate.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Be here, you miss it. Yes. Well, I don't know. My one rant might go into another. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, it's not really a rant. It's just, okay. So I've kind of got, I'm a little bit older, right? I'm 46. So this is probably not the greatest time to be starting my music career, but hey, set
Better
that
late
to
than
the
never.
side. Right? Set that to the side. So I've got going Rumble going, right? So every Sunday at 3, there'll be a video going up there. And that's cool. I can schedule videos out and everything. So I want to try to do a community thing, and looking through the thing, I've decided to try locals.
Okay.
So go through locals. Now I've got to get approved to have a community there. Now I'm still going through. I'm waiting on the approval. I filled out all the stuff, waiting on the approval there, and I had to go fill out another site. What was it? What was it called? Stripe.
Yeah.
To make sure I get paid for things, all the stuff you got to do, all these steps you got to take, and it's just like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through and twirl my thumbs waiting for approval, and it's a little bit. I guess I could have gone with Patreon, as we do the full spectrum. We'll go through Patreon for $1 a month. You get it, you get in our Discord through that. Try to build something a little bit different on that. Was going with the locals thing, and the minimum on that is $2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this. So I don't know if I get like I said, I don't even know if I'm gonna get approved for it or whatever.
Right.
I am not good with the social media stuff. So on top of that, I'm gonna try after there's 14 songs. There's one of the songs that are up on Rumble right now that's not part of the album. There's 14 songs, and one of them got put up out of order. That's
Okay.
how good I am. That's how good I am, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I know
It's
that
out,
feeling.
right? So I got to that when the 14 when these 14 songs are out. That's a full album. It's like when all those songs go together. There's a connection through all of them type thing, and I'm going to try it. That's after when that hit. That should be April. I got these deadlines. This is what stressed me out. So April, May. It should be in May.
Yeah.
Around that time, all those should be out, and then I'll be putting that album out, and so it'll go through a distributor. So it will be on iTunes,
Right.
Spotify,
Nice.
wherever. It says 150. I didn't even know there's 150, but it's weird. I just want to play music and like slap a pretty picture about it and have somebody listen to it and say, hey,
Yeah.
I like that song, or no, I didn't like that song. But I do want to get it out there and stuff, and the licensing and all the different things. Like, yes, I can go through this service, but they don't cover this licensing. Now,
Right.
this service is a little more expensive, but they get this, but you may have to sign up with this.
Right.
And so in a way, with job, everything else, and trying to get the music done and everything, that has been my week, trying to navigate all those things
Yeah.
because it's a pain enough if you just want to. It's a little bit of a pain if you're just putting up, if we're just putting up straight videos, but getting licenses on intellectual property, I guess,
Yeah.
creative licenses, whatever, just it like doubles up the layers on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my brain has been muddled going through this.
I'm sure.
I'm like,
I
'cause
do have
wanna
to
make sure I get the
ask,
right-
because I'm
Yes.
curious.
That's my
Here, by the
snack.
way, real quick, here is a link to his newest song out there. If you want to check it
Thank
out.
you.
Cool. But I have to ask if you, or let me word this better. The Day Before Tomorrow, is that in the album?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
The
so
song
that'll go up
the
on
song-
Spotify as well if this goes through.
Yes, the
You have
song
my
that won't
complete
be
support. I love that song.
the only one up there right now is the song "It's All Right" when My
Yeah.
Side does it. That's not from that album.
Right.
Yeah, that was a weird week trying to get out that, but I had that song ready, so I put it up, and it then turned
Don't
out I
blame
wasn't
me.
very happy with it. Got to do it again. That one will be wrapped up and put into the second album, which will be like is really what I want to try to get this locals going, and if there's anybody who wants to, obviously wants to support or whatever.
For sure.
So, yeah. So I've missed movies. I have got to work on music, so I do have. I'm staying ahead, which I need to, right?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm staying ahead. So I'm staying ahead trying to get all that done. It was just like another layer. And this is the thing. I am so terrible at social media, right?
Right.
I don't like it. Hi. From Twitch TV. The but because you got to have like if you're serious about this, you got to have everything.
Yeah.
It's like I can't handle everything. All right, there's reasons. I can
Yeah.
only handle so much. Right now, I can handle Rumble. A little bit on Discord.
Right.
That doesn't have to do with promoting me.
Right.
That has to do with, I'm there for this channel. That's so I don't have to worry about promoting me there. Put something up there
Right.
once in a while and do all that. But yeah, so now I got locals, and it's like, hey, and like with the like one of the deals is kind of weird. Because it says 150, and I think they like make videos and
Yeah.
pop them up on YouTube and TikTok
Yeah.
and stuff. So
I'm
I
having
don't
a hard
know.
enough time keeping up with it all too. The TikTok
Yeah.
is falling through the cracks when we got YouTube, got Discord, got Twitter, got
Yeah.
Instagram. It's there. Ugh.
And see, like I said, man, I'm Generation X, dude. What?
Yeah. Can't we just talk? And the Twitch side, and the Game Pass. I got people messaging me there. There are so many times where I'll come back to one of those platforms and then see that I have a message and go, "Oh, I need to respond to this," and go, "Oh, this is like 8 days old."
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I've got to keep in mind. It's just a bit. It's been a big, and it kind of culminated today because I got my homework stuff to do.
Yeah.
I want to get ready for this podcast and doing this. So you're just kind of like, it's not, I'm not really complaining or anything because this is, when I started doing music, the way you made it is the right person heard it.
Right.
It's the ultimate dream, or you
Yeah.
have to know a person who knows a person. Then, I never had the right crowd or anything like that, all these things. So now it's kind of like all in my hands. It's just so much at one time.
Yeah.
So I still have all my hair though. So for right now.
Well, and again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching this on Twitch, and you value my opinion on video game music or anything like that, I urge you, please check out Rengren's music. Separate from the fact that he's my friend, separate from the fact that he's my dungeon master, and my co-host, I unironically really like his music. His vocals are very good. And again, Day Before Tomorrow is my favorite song he's ever made. I really, really like that song, and recommend at least check out that one, but you should check out the rest as well because they're really good.
I appreciate it, man. I do. Go give a listen. I'm trying to get to 10 followers on Rumble. That
Yeah.
would be huge. Yeah, I need one more.
Angel's
One more.
Blood. Angel's Blood, the way to go. Angel's Blood is
Yeah.
very good as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, that's enough of me complaining and stressing. Thanks for letting me vent a little bit about what I've been going through. So I know you've been waiting for this. So let me hear it. What have you been doing this week, man?
So, we were talking a little about music. I've been playing a game that has some really good music. It's called Elden Ring.
Yeah, I knew this was coming.
I have put 26 hours into this already.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me just sit back for a second.
I am pushing close to that 30-hour mark, and I was torn between like making a video at 30 hours or just making like having my talk here and cutting it out. I'm probably going to do that because I don't want to spoil things for people, honestly.
Fair enough.
This game, okay, I'm going to say it right now. I know we're early in the year. This is game of the year. I don't see how it couldn't be. This is not just game of the year. I adore this game. I'm going to be the first one to tell you this is a me game in every way, shape, and form. This game is Dark Souls meets Legend of Zelda, like OG first Legend of Zelda in the best way. They hint you where to go, but they never outright say it. The only guide that you have is at specific, there's new names for everything. It's still just a bonfire, right? At specific bonfires, they will have like a light trail that goes from it in a direction, and that's the clue you get, that's the story path. But the vast majority of this game for me has been, I wonder what's over that hill. Let me just go find out. Oh my gosh, what is this? What is going on? Or, oh, it's a dungeon. Cool. I love exploring dungeons. I'm there for the next hour and a half, just exploring this dungeon, fighting enemies, fighting bosses. This game has a cool mechanic called the Ash system, and I don't want to get too much into it for the sake of spoilers for people, but when you get to a certain point, very early on, you get access to the ability to summon ashes in specific areas, and it means that even though the bosses are kind of harder than some of the other Souls games, they're also kind of not, because you can summon one of many different ashes.
Ashes,
Thank you. And these ashes will help draw aggro and have different effects, and they're very, very cool. Thank you. And some of them can poison enemies, and some of them can, thank y'all. And some of them can disrupt enemies. They're all very cool, and they're my favorite new addition to the game. But the real way that Elden Ring shines to me is that it's an open world game without the open world problem. So when I say the open world problem, I mean that the vast majority of open world games have very repetitive things, right?
Yeah, okay,
you have the same tasks over and over again.
Yeah.
In Elden Ring, every dungeon's different. You do eventually need to pull a lever to unlock the door to the boss. But other than that, every dungeon's different. The mobs that are in the dungeons are different. The open world, there's just stuff everywhere. And there are secrets hidden. There are all kinds of crazy secrets, some of which let you sequence break and go places you probably should not be yet and get one shot by enemies. But if you can get past those enemies, there's items you can get there.
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
It sounds like, okay, look, just love or hate Skyrim and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I think for me, a lot of times, while they were at their where they were at their best, is when you were just wandering.
Yep, 100%.
You come across stuff you haven't seen before, and yeah, with the size of games, the engines that have caught up, the hardware, the hardware and software side of it now.
Yeah,
these worlds can be so big and so different, and it sounds like I have watched 0 videos on Elden Ring. They're all over my all over my feed, but I'm not watching them.
Yeah.
But of course you get blurbs and stuff with them. The first game in a long time that's come out that has actually met the expectations of people that were holding it to high expectations.
100%.
And that really says a lot. And it really makes me excited for the next couple of years of gaming with some of the titles that are coming out.
it's such a weird thing. If you had told me an open world Dark Souls game, I would have gone, well, Dark Souls is already open world. You know, it's interconnected and you can go to all kinds of crazy. This is not that. It is that. This is the game that I believe this team wanted to make with Dark Souls 1. And with Demon Souls. You know, this is a game where it truly is open world. You have a horse. The horse can double jump because he's a ghost horse. You can go.
Like they didn't have the ability to make this game then.
Right. Everything is already loaded. There's no like loading times to have to get into somewhere, and it's already loaded. So that there are these places you can find on the map that are like telescopes. They give you bird's eye view telescopes is what they're called. And when you click on one, it pulls you up into the sky above that spot, and you can look around the map, and you can see enemies moving in those distant areas. At one point, I'm standing at the foot of this huge mountain, and I'm looking the other way, and I turn around and I see the flags waving at like a parapet way up there. And I know all that stuff is loaded. All that stuff is there, and I can get there.
Yeah. It's not loaded, but man.
Right.
It's not.
It's rendered already. It just isn't.
Yeah, it's oh, dude, it's so stinking amazing. I can't remember. We had a discussion. This was a while back. On the new polygon technology.
Yeah.
The new lighting technology.
Yeah.
And one other, and right now I would need to go back to do my research again to remember the exact names of them.
Right.
But and the ability that call we both of us saw the video.
Yeah, and we're very stunned by it. The Matrix demo is what it was showcased in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was it. The Matrix demo. Thank you. And what they do, and I guess now you're getting to see a touch of that this year on this game. You know.
Yeah.
What it can do.
I adore this game.
I will say there's been a lot of talk on the character creator.
Yeah.
On this, and it seems to be pretty robust.
It's pretty good. I don't really, and if you go back and watch my first impressions, anybody here, you'll see I don't really interact with it much, even though it's very robust, because I'm going to put a helmet on that character immediately.
I've heard that statement a lot too. Yep.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's great that it's there for people that aren't going to wear helmets, but I'm immediately putting the coolest looking helmet that I found a helmet. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I found a helmet that gives me more endurance and makes me look like a monster, and I love it. And I will wear that helmet until the end of the game.
Nice.
No, this game, it does have its problems. There's a pretty common bug on PC where it'll stutter for half a second, and it doesn't do it all the time. It'll stutter for half a second and then have greatly accelerated movement speed for a second. And in a game with extremely tight combat, that absolutely has killed me. But it happens so rare, I believe it's probably tied to a memory leak. Because it only happens after I've had it playing for a while.
Oh. Is this only on the PC side?
Yeah, I haven't played it on console to know if it's happening there, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it on PC, but haven't heard anybody talk about it on console.
So if you after 3 or 4 hours, maybe if you you're saying if you cut it off, or after a certain span of time, if you cut it off.
Yeah, you probably won't run into this.
You may maybe it was that makes sense.
But that's the only performance issue I've run into.
Sounds like it's doing a lot better in New World.
Yeah, it's doing a lot better than Dark Souls 1 did when it first came out on PC, too. Mm-hmm. The other big issue is, and it's not even an issue to me, but it is a thing to be aware of. They reuse some mini-bosses. They have since since Demon Souls did it, Dark Souls 1 did it, but for anybody that does care, I've killed one boss like 3 times already in mini-bosses. Again, I don't care, because there's always something new in the boss fight to mix it up. Either the boss has help, or there's a different status effect going on, or but it is there. That is the only real complaint that I could come up with. I haven't touched the main story. I've left that be and just explored and gone to places I should not have gone and fought some of my favorite boss fights in the series. Some of the set pieces in this are some of my favorite set pieces in the series. Again, give me a couple weeks where it's not brand new, and I will talk. I will talk.
Yeah.
I will talk. I will talk.
I'm not like some of the best times I've had in video games is being in places where I'm not supposed to be there yet,
Yep.
and then figuring out a way to get through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It feels very good. This game is great, and you can cheese so much with the horse. I do, but I'm trying not to spoil. But you give me a couple weeks, and I will just talk about cool stuff in this game. There's an entire section where there are these mages that are shooting magic at you, and at the level that I went there, I did not have any answer to that, and so I just rode past them on my horse.
Nice.
Juked and jived, and got away and was able to get further into that area. No, it's so good.
So I this makes me really curious because I can't remember if we've discussed it. I think we've mentioned it on the show, but we've discussed it. I know just you and I talking about map sizes, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you're talking just earlier talking about like your depth of perception.
Yeah.
On this map,
Mm-hmm.
what you're seeing in the distance, and it really makes me wonder, because a game like this hits, and other studios and things have been watching it, and there's been talk.
Yeah.
And they've been waiting for it as well. What titles are coming out that's gonna even challenge this?
Right. I agree. And I think every open world game that comes out from now on needs to learn lessons from Elden Ring. When you pick up a material on the ground, because you can pick up stuff in craft. It's an open world game. You pick it up instantly. There's no animation. You just pick it up. When you summon your horse, it appears underneath you while you're moving. You can summon your horse while running, and you immediately go into a dash. There's no dialogue from your character. There's no moment where your character is just like, oh, might need this, or yeah, I should pick this up. It's just, no, I need this. I don't care what my character thinks about it. I know we need it. I'm grabbing it. I don't need to hear Arthur Morgan talk to me again about skinning another rabbit. I just need another thing off the ground here for a second,
Yeah.
No, it's so good. And when we talk about no, yeah, exactly. You just get on the horse. It's so good. When we talk about map size, there is a area in this game, because there are like forts and stuff you can go to. That one area alone is as big as Undead Burg in Dark Souls 1, which is one of the biggest zones in Dark Souls 1. This map is huge, but because of how easy it is to traverse, Torrent is so fast. And then you also have all of these teleportation spots around the map that you can teleport to really quickly. You have a hub. I'm not going to say anything more about the hub for spoiler's sake, but you have a hub that you can unlock eventually. I rarely go there because I don't need to.
See, I think this is where I understand. Like I said, I don't watch any videos on it, but the headlines and stuff pop up, and people aren't as sneaky as they think sometimes, and sometimes it's very lead. But that's different conversation. But the obviously the Dark Souls comparisons, right? They've embraced that.
Yes.
But Breath of the Wild gets brought up a lot.
Yes, and it should
as an inspiration as well, and some of that is the movement, and I think what you were just talking about there kind of explains that.
Also, that you can jump. I don't mean like, because it's all the Souls games, you hold down the sprint button and then press it again to jump. And you can only do that from sprinting. Not in Elden Ring. In Elden Ring, you just press A to jump. You just jump up. It's so weird to play a Souls game with a jump button, but I cannot go back now. I mean, I will obviously go back. Dark Souls 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. But, like, I'm going to miss the jump.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me. If I start a game and I don't have a jump. I have a run, I may have a dodge, but I don't have, like, a jump. That's usually kind of like, just let me. Let me just stand there and jump. I
agree.
Want to do that.
I like being able to jump in games. Balance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's probably what. Well, like, You don't jump in Resident Evil games. You have a prompt
Right.
and you go.
Yeah.
I'll do that. And I do love Resident Evil games, but yeah, it's always like just want to jump.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
agree.
control the jump.
And they didn't just add a jump button, they made it a part of your moveset too. So like you have different combos in the air as your character. So you can jump heavy attack to just bam, you know?
That's
And
so
it-
neat.
so
What's funny
good.
is because that was a selling point for one of the old NES Castlevanias.
Right.
You could attack while jumping.
Yeah. Finally there. It only took us
Yeah,
this long.
Yeah, let's come all the way back around.
I also want to say real quick, without spoiling anything, the previous games have had a big issue with there really wasn't any point in doing anything other than like a strength or dex build because if you were a magic build, it was just you can do better magics that do more damage. If you were a faith build, it's like okay, you can throw lightning and do shockwaves. This game has some incredible spells and incantations. They're so cool. It makes me wish that I hadn't rolled knight and had rolled a sorcerer because some of that stuff is super cool. I just think I want to say it. I can't say, but I can't use
look,
it. But
you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks.
Yep.
We can put a whole section for this.
Yep.
No, I know you're excited, but I know. I can tell.
Yep. I'll wait. I'll wait though, for spoilers'
Okay.
sake. But that's all the time you get.
You got 2 weeks,
Okay.
and
Elden
then
Ring's
he
good.
let fly.
Let me talk about the other thing for my
Yeah.
week, and then I'm done. I'm good from there.
Okay.
I did some building for 40K minis.
Some building, huh?
Yeah.
Get done.
The Death Guard and the Tau. So, it's no secret. I think I've talked about it. I've had to pick up a side job to help pay all the bills, and during that sounds worse than I mean it to. During that side job, sometimes I have time to get some more building done. But I have finished the Death Guard, and I showed off this guy last time on his own, and he was super cool with the claw and everything.
Yeah.
But I finished his team. So we've got this guy with the chime.
Oh, he looks cool. I like his helmet.
Yeah, his helmet's so cool. And then this guy with the plague cleaver.
The plague cleaver.
Like there was the option between this or a different weapon. It's like, no, it's the plague cleaver.
Somebody's carrying a plague cleaver. Like go.
This guy has the plague blaster. I think it's what it's called.
Oh my God, it's Pyramid Head. No,
Right?
that's a horn, isn't it?
That's a horn, yeah.
Like a rhino horn. That's cool.
And then this guy has the plague spewer, which is like a flamethrower for death and poison.
Plague spewer.
I don't know if you can see it, but in his other hand is the controller for it. And he pushes the button with that hand because it actually like wraps around to the backpack and everything.
Oh, yeah, it'll clear up for a second, man, and it will get like fine detail, and then it blurs up on everything. But it looks good. There it goes.
So happy with how those guys turned out.
Heck
And
yeah.
then I didn't bring every Tau guy in here because there's like 11 guys on that team. But I brought in some of the cooler variants. We have the regular Tau guys.
He's burning up. There he goes. That guy looks like he didn't stand a chance.
No, they're so
You
small
get-
comparatively.
Yeah,
These
it
guys
goes-
with the rail rifles and the
well,
ion
rail
rifle.
rifles. They look like they can do something.
Then we have
Right.
this guy that I kit bashed to be holding his binoculars in front of his helmet instead of just like. That was way more work than it should have been.
Okay.
But it's like
Oh,
lined up
wow.
with his eye and everything for his binoculars.
Nice.
And then their leader,
Boba Fett.
pretty much. He's kind of cool, you know. It doesn't seem to want to focus on him. It just wants to focus on my fingertips. They're so small,
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
But then these guys have drones.
Yeah.
This is a gun drone.
I can see. The fact he's got two huge guns on the bottom of it.
This is a
Yeah,
shield drone.
that sounds handy.
And then this is the best drone. This is the recon drone.
You're getting slammed for kit bashing.
Oh no.
Oh, that came in. That came out good. What happened?
There we go.
It came in good. Yeah,
You
it
can
focused
take
good on that one.
and raise and
Oh,
lower the gun, which is so cool.
look at you, buddy.
Yeah, I can't help myself. I like to kit bash these because, when they show up on the channel, they'll be different from everybody else's towel.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also have an announcement to make about 40K because the room is not done yet, but it's gotten to the point now where it is time to start painting. Because we have enough kill teams, the room is close enough to being done that we need to get the painting process started so that we can start doing videos. And so tonight I'm going to order the rest of the stuff that I need to paint, which include the rest of the colors. I did a lot of research today on contrast paints versus base paints versus washes and all that stuff. And hopefully soon, I say hopefully soon as in like don't look for it probably this month, but hopefully soon we'll have some painting videos up of painting some of these models. And then after that it'll be kill teams.
Nice.
And I believe the first kill team that we're going to showcase here on the channel will be my Blood Angels Assault Intercessors for Space Marines versus my girlfriend's Commando Orcs. That'll be the first one, I think, because those are the ones that I'm excited to paint the most, even though they're not the best kill team by far.
Right.
Probably going to get wrecked, but I just love Blood Angels, so,
All right.
I'm very
guess we'll-
excited.
A while to wait, but we'll see how that goes.
I can't wait to I got a big video planned of just like, hey, here's all the Warhammer stuff that I've built and just like the table with it all laid out like a diorama, so please look forward to that.
You can get a before shot
Yeah.
of everything.
Or it's all painted.
Yeah. That's all the armies out there. And then you need to have two competitions. You need to have one where which one's painted better.
Yeah.
Between the first two on your first kill teams. And maybe you can pull that one out. I don't know. If you get slotted on the field. Maybe you can say you look better trying. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll figure it out for sure. That expression. Yeah. No, I'm excited. I will say though, having now finished before we move on, having now finished the Death Guard, man, they're cool. I don't know if you got to see it really well, but this guy has a mouth in his gut.
It's not showing up.
I
can kind of see it. There you go. Don't move.
And that's so cool. These guys are so cool. And I kind of wish now I hadn't chosen Blood Angels and I'd chosen Death Guard instead. But I have so much money put into those Blood Angels. I have to play Blood Angels now.
Yeah.
No, they're very cool. They're very cool.
See, if I pick one and you make me paint it, I'm gonna cheat and have my girlfriend paint it.
That's fair. I don't blame you.
That way I know I will win the first judging. I may lose the match.
No, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right.
Anything else for your week?
No, I don't think so. I think it was pretty good. I think it was a good top off for weeks there.
All right. Well, let's move into reviews.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have some games to talk about, and the first one is Elex 2.
I read that as Flex 2 when I first pulled up the
I don't blame you.
and the document, I was like, Flex? I don't.
Before I talk to you about Elex 2 and what it is, I feel like I should remind you of what Elex 1 is. Elex 1 came out in 2017, made by Piranha Bytes and published by THQ Nordic. It was an open-world, single-player, post-apocalyptic RPG. It bombed so hard that everyone assumed there would never be another one.
Watch this.
It did not do well at all. It wound up with a 67 on Metacritic, Steam reviews were pretty good. The last update it had was in December of 2017.
Well, apparently they didn't put enough money into marketing.
Right. Because I would say if you ask somebody, they wouldn't even know what Elex is, right? And there's this thing of like the gaming community is so, not on purpose, but it's so inclusive of like, hey, everybody assumes everybody knows everything else because they assume everybody checks Twitter, Reddit as much as they do, right? But realistically, that's not how it works, right? Most people just don't know. And so I've pulled up the Steam Spy and found that the user score on Steam is 74% for Elex 1. That over the last 5 years, wow, it's 5 years. It's only had 876,528 views. And the peak concurrent players was 774.
That doesn't sound like strong footing for a part 2.
In the last 2 weeks, it has been played 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So, let's talk about Elex 2. I felt like we should do a little deep dive into the history there.
But now I got to give my score.
Yeah. What do you think
After that,
the score is for Elex 2?
I'm hoping this is a redemption story. All right, I'm going with that. I'm going to keep that in my score. So I'm gonna. But it really wouldn't take a very high score for it to be a redemption story.
It's very true.
So I think I'm going to go with 79.
Okay. Jack, what do you think the score is? 77?
78? Yeah.
That reminds me, we got to bring up the ice cream chart.
Oh,
75?
you fool. I guess it was
I
okay.
have
We
to.
didn't have anybody last week.
That's right. I got to remove the names, too, from the ice cream chart because nobody's
No ice
won
cream for
yet.
you. No. Okay.
This doesn't fit. It doesn't. The score is 69.
Wow. Well, I guess technically that's a little bit of redemption.
A little bit.
The 64 at first.
ACG says wait for sale. Hey, Dark. We're just glad you're here.
Hey. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you're here.
ACG says wait for sale. Hey, poor player says you have a review on Thursday for it. Oh boy. Elex 2 presents a world of narrative and a world and narrative of immeasurable depth in terms of the freedom you have to play your way on the choices you're presented with as a player. Couple that with an extremely gratifying sense of progression, you have a world that begs to be visited for repeat playthroughs. If you can look past the inevitable lack of polish and archaic presentation issues, do yourself a favor and don't let this absolute gem pass you by.
That's not. Never mind.
I just want to throw out there, if you can look past the inevitable lack of polish and archaic presentation issues. What does that mean?
It means this is 2022's Two Worlds.
Yeah,
is what that means.
Yeah, that's how I read that as well. IGN Italy says Elex 2 is not without its flaws, and some of them can sometimes be quite jarring. But underneath them all is a nice action RPG that gets more than a few things right and can provide many, many hours of entertainment.
All right, somebody just doesn't want to hurt THQ Nordic's feelings, and I can understand that. But you got to call it what it is sometimes.
Yeah. No. It comes out today, yes, March 1st. Next up, we have two more. God is a Geek. Right. Says Elex 2 is another example of Piranha Bytes aiming far too high. It's a plodding, often clunky adventure with a few bright spots.
That's it?
Yeah,
that's rough. That's harsh.
I would love to hear your take on it, Dark, if you're allowed to say. I don't know how your NDA works. Way too many games, with our final blurb, says, games like Elex 2, where it seems no effort was put in and no ambition is shown, are simply unacceptable. This is just the tip of the iceberg, too, as I didn't even mention the least fun jetpack ever, immortal and totally uncustomizable companions, and the choppy frame rate. I could go on for days, but ultimately it doesn't matter, because it can all be summed up succinctly. Don't play this, get something else. Respect your time, respect your wallet, and respect other games that are simply doing it better. It's out there and there's no embargo. That's very true.
Yeah, well, fair enough. The wow. Okay. It would be my worst. I could handle having a game bomb.
Yeah.
But having it be known as the most unfun jetpack,
Yeah,
having
that's
the
not-
most how did no. Oh.
What was that game called? Was it Dark Void? That had like the story was terrible, the gameplay wasn't great, the graphics were bad, but it had a good jetpack and it had a good glaive. And so at the end of the day, it was like, hey, you may not have a lot, but at least you can enjoy the jetpack.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Okay. So their regular score was a
69.
59, and they really didn't say anything to go upwards after that.
Right.
I'm gonna go with 54.
Okay.
I think they're gonna hit it hard.
Everything in this
54.
game, and money is hard to get. Oh no. 58, 55. Let's see what else everybody says here. Yeah, except we could go.
58. Right there. Whew.
The score is 40. Dark got it.
Ah. Oh, 40 at best.
40%. As a reminder,
Wow.
if you've never seen us play the review game before, if you can guess either one of the scores, you get your name on the ice cream wall. Ice cream wall of fame. And it stays there until next week.
Dun, 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 dun. I
So
mean,
just keep that in
what
mind.
more could you ask for?
Yeah, it's
Gosh.
the best.
Ooh, that was harsh. That was a harsh review to start out with,
yeah,
man.
I know. But sometimes
Hey.
we got to cover them. I wouldn't want somebody to buy Elex too and go, well, you just didn't tell us, full spectrum.
Hey,
You
no,
just
no,
didn't
no,
tell
no.
us.
No.
Next up is Shadow Warrior 3.
That's stupid.
You have to buy
Not Shadow
abilities.
Warrior.
Oof.
Yeah.
I think you can make buying abilities work. Like DMC does it, right? Devil May Cry. You have your basic abilities, and then you buy like alternate versions of abilities or further combos in the abilities. But you get that from playing the game, which is the fun part, you know? Just start leaving it up for D&D 2 to make people wonder what it is. I mean...
Ugh.
So Shadow Warrior 3 is the third in the new Shadow Warrior games. People really like these games. They are action set pieces, the game, an arena fighter, basically. If you go into a room, kill everybody in the room, and move on, just like the new Doom. I say new Doom. Old Doom was like that too. But
Yeah. Doom.
yeah, just like Doom.
Doom.
But it has a little bit more of a sense of humor, right? So this is the third one in the series. Your main character is still continuing forward to try and solve the problem. I don't want to spoil too much for people. This is the third game in a series. If you like it, you know you like it, right? What do you think the critic score is for Shadow Warrior 3?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about this because it's kind of thinking back over the years. I think it's kind of it's a very popular game in a niche sort of way. I'm gonna go with 72.
72?
I don't know why. I don't have a good reason. 72.
Okay. Chat, what do you think?
Oh, right then with an 80. However you use round phone, okay, best.
The ice
Ooh.
cream different? It shouldn't be. It should be the same ice cream. Yeah, unless something drastic has changed.
This is a Mandela effect. We're in different. It used to have more ice cream on top. It was different, more
Somebody
toppings.
steal a scoop
Somebody-
off the top of that ice cream?
Yeah, it looks like somebody took it. Yeah, somebody stole a scoop off the ice cream.
Really? I guess it must be Mandela effect. Yeah.
I swear there's a different color. Either that or somehow you grabbed almost exactly but wrong picture.
I
Yes, you
might
did.
have.
Thank you. Yeah.
I might have. It's so close to the same picture, though.
Yeah. All right,
Man.
man. I lost scores. Sorry, I was throwing off.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm thrown off too.
82. Dark. I think Dark gave it a 60,
The
and then we've
correct
got
score?
another 80.
used to be green. Man, I don't remember that at all, but maybe I did grab the wrong picture that's exactly the same, except it has vanilla instead of mint.
No, the vanilla was there. There was more ice cream.
Oh, well,
Somebody's ate our ice cream.
I'm just saying. Sometimes I
What
get
is
hungry.
what is this score?
The score is 74.
Wait a minute. Oh, I said 32. Nobody said 34.
Nope.
We were all close. All right, fine.
ACG
not
said wait for a sale.
Okay.
Let me read
enough.
some of these for you. Niche Gamer says, it's just a shame that the experience is over so quickly. Perhaps a premature ending is a fitting flaw for a game crammed so full of dick jokes. But at the end of the day, you are still left wanting more.
Okay.
Then we have Worth Playing says, Shadow Warrior 3 is the fun shooter that falls short of greatness. The combat is fast and frantic, and it is intense enough that I found myself getting lost in it. The short length, lack of variety, and inevitable conversations to Doom Eternal don't do it any favors. I'm glad that I played Shadow Warrior 3, and I imagine a lot of folks will feel the same way. It might be best to wait for a price drop, as $50 is slightly hefty for the amount of content you get.
Okay.
Then we have IG in Italy. Says Shadow Warrior 3 is a fast, spectacular, and over-the-top arena shooter with bland platforming sections. And on this front, it works very well. Don't ask for anything more, though. Finally, but why, though? Says, overall, Shadow Warrior 3 feels like a teenager that still has a bit of maturing to do. Humor that tries to be edgy overshadows the fun gameplay, and the lack of an intriguing story does not help either. I would not necessarily say Shadow Warrior 3 is a bad game, but it was disappointing that I often felt like I was playing through a 15-year-old video game's fantasy. I'm sorry, 15-year-old's video game fantasy. That's a very different sentence, depending on where that S is.
So doesn't that work either way for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Still, there are moments of fun to be had, and I hope Shadow Warrior 4, if it happens, can fix some of the writing mistakes to make the enjoyable experience of actually playing the game worth the time.
Okay. Man.
Just didn't like Lil Wang as a character. I understand why.
Sometimes a movie, artwork, song, game that is made for a specific reason,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes it can turn out to be really cool, and other times it sounds like it falls really short.
Yeah.
And this really sounds like this is falling short.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 60. I think I'm gonna go with 68.
Okay. Used to have
68.
8 scoops. How did I grab a picture that had 7 less scoops? What? Because in my head it was like, yeah, that's the same. You're sending it to me? Okay, thank you.
So, okay. So we
The
got
score is
68, 70, 71. What do you got?
55.
Dang, they got it way down low. See,
Yeah.
See, Duke Nukem had its time, and it could have been made great again.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I think that's probably a good comparison there, because I think from what those reviews are, you can do this. You just put some thought and intelligence into it.
Right. Wow, it did used to have a lot more scoops. I don't know how I did that, but either way, I will.
You are shorting people. Right. Dark gets some ice cream this week, and you're gonna show up with that little scoop.
I will get a new. Maybe I'll take like both pictures and blend them in with Photoshop, so that it's like both pictures at the same time. Who knows? We'll see what I do. That's for future trading aside. Let's talk about Elden Ring reviews. You heard
98.
my glowing review earlier, but I haven't beaten it yet.
98.
Okay.
Because I don't want you glaring at me.
Yeah.
But I don't want to claim it perfect yet.
Right.
I'll go with 98.
Okay. Find pictures with one extra scoop over and over and switch the picture out for each time it gets up. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, a 95. The Dark gave it a 92. Got a 95 from Faith in there.
Any other guesses? I'll give you to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2,
a 96.
1. The answer is 96. Lena got it.
Lena got it. Yes. None too
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Soulsborns, but the people who play them love them. Yes. Yeah, you missed yeah. You missed Trey's. We I had to stop him. I had to stop him.
This one I
So
will say is very different. Story wise, it's the same, but gameplay wise, it's very different because it's open world. And I hate open world games and love this game. But let's see how other people feel. ACG said, "Wait for sale."
they got their buttons stuck. They said it about all of them.
Was it pre-show or show? It was during the show. It'll be on the YouTube side. Game Informer says, Elden Ring represents a truly amazing combination of various game elements that all come together to create something fascinating, special, and unforgettable. Elden Ring isn't just the best game this year, it's one of the best games ever made.
Okay. That's a pretty bold statement.
Let's go with Winfinite, who says, is this the best FromSoft action RPG ever made? For now, perhaps. It's definitely up there with Bloodborne, but given the company's track record, I'd no longer be surprised if they came back in another 6 years with a new IP that surpassed all expectations again.
Dang. Not only picked great for this one, but the future as well.
Yeah. Later,
All right,
Dark.
Doc. Later.
See you on YouTube. You'll see
Get
me.
some-
I won't see you, but you'll see me.
Get some food.
Enjoy
it's
your
delicious.
meal.
I hope it's delicious.
The Gamer says From Software doesn't rewrite the medium's rulebook, but does tear its own tenets asunder while reconstructing them. I chose this just because I could say asunder. Reconstructing them into a cohesive whole that outclasses all that came before it. The Lands Between invites you to explore it with an unparalleled level of freedom, offering up a plate of seemingly impenetrable challenges and intimately constructed stories that are always a delight to indulge in. This is, without doubt, one of the best games in recent memory.
Burgers.
Rallies. Not
The,
sponsored, but if they want to.
Right. I will eat your burger.
I want to read you
Live
two
on
more,
air. Okay.
and then we'll get some guesses here. RPG site says Elden Ring deftly refines and boldly reimagines From Software's tried and true formula. And then finally, Digital Trend says, while technical frustrations hold back its full potential, Elden Ring astonishes with fantastic open world design and consistently rewarding exploration.
Okay. I think do have it's information on the PC glitches.
Yes.
So taking that in mind and knowing that some of them, actually quite a few of those will probably be talking from the PC side. I'm saying their recommendation right now is 88.
Okay. Dark, which one did you get? Tell me if you can't say now because you need to go eat, put it in a YouTube comment later because I'm really curious which gunplay you got. Pushing the button.
All right. So I got a they're way ahead. 97, 99, 98. Even if it frees up every once in a while, they're all recommending heartily.
100%.
Really? On the recommendation? Oh, okay. 100%. See, that one wait for sale kind of threw it off. I thought it might pull the score just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, a lot of these are not like 10 out of 10s. There are a good number of 10 out of 10s, but a lot of these are like 9.5s, 4 out of 5, and they cite the performance issues as why it's not higher scored. But then when asked if they would recommend it, every single one of them said yes.
See, if it's so I guess if it's a performance issues, maybe they're saying, yeah, look, I'm playing it on PC. It's a known issue. It's aggravating, but so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's annoying. Don't get me wrong, but it's perfectly playable around it, and I think it's worth playing personally. I would also add my recommendation. Here's my blurb for you: Elden Ring is Souls meets Zelda, and that's really cool. So you should probably try it.
All right. Well,
That's our reviews for the week. Next up, things get a little interesting, maybe a little spicy, because we have announcements. The first one is that Spice and Wolf Season 3 has been announced.
when is this coming?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Okay, look. So let me pull up the exact date. Spice and Wolf is such a weird, cool anime. But Spice and Wolf season 1 came out 2008. Season 2 came out in 2009, and then nothing.
Dang.
People have been
Did
waiting
somebody
for
buy it?
so long. We
Did
don't
somebody
know.
buy it? Or
There's
just
really
somebody...
no information other than just, hey, they're making it.
Okay.
Hoggy, Strike Freedom Burst Full Mode, and Epion. Nice. Good choices. Hoggy's won. For anybody who doesn't know, Spice and Wolf is a really cool, weird anime about a wolf goddess and a merchant and their story. And it goes into economics, and it goes into the way that merchants affect the world, and how trade and how important money is. And it's a really interesting story while being like a really cool love story and a really cool economic story. And anime never gets into economics, really, right? It's this and Log Horizon. And so it's really cool. And we were waiting for a season 3 for a long time. I'm just saying, if you go back and watch the Trace Top 25 Anime of All Time video, Spice and Wolf's on that list. So, I recommend it.
Nice.
We finally get to know more of the story of Hollow and Graft Lawrence. Finally.
Man, that's a long time.
It
That's
is.
like a Futurama break.
Yeah, it is. But,
Insane.
you know, I've been told the manga goes for a good little bit, so hopefully this will cover more of that. Or the light novel, not the manga. I've never been able to read it because it was never translated over here. I'm sure there's probably fan translations, but those sometimes are great, sometimes not so much. One of the Toggies 2 limited, but it's from the 90s, so the joints are weak. Yeah. HG. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I gotta get back into building Gunpla. Once we get all these models done for the Kill Team stuff, back into that. Barbados, Lupus Barbados, and Lupus Rex Barbados. Check Hobby Lobby and what's it called? The bookstore. Not Walden Books. That's dead.
Brooks and Dunn?
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. Golly, why
Yeah.
would I hate country music? Why would I say that?
Yeah. Because they have the
Wow.
Barbados is like a big popular kit right now, still, and so they normally have them on for pretty good prices. Hopefully, Spice and Wolf will be pretty well priced.
Who's carrying it? That's kind of weird. Just drop an announcement. Nothing on it though.
Yeah.
Just the announcement that we're doing it.
It's coming. Look forward
Okay.
to it. Let me love where you are doesn't have it. That's speaking of stuff that just got dropped and we don't really know anything about. There's gonna be a Beyblade movie.
Okay, look, the cartoon went for at least 2 seasons.
It went for longer than that because the original season was the Blade Breakers, and it had 4 seasons, sorry. And then they did. Let me pull it up to make sure. But then they did V-Force, I think. And then they had 2 more different like new series after that.
Wow.
Okay,
What?
I got it. We have original Beyblade, which was 2001. 2002 over here. Then Beyblade V-Force, 2002, 2003 over here. And Beyblade G Revolution, which was 2003, 2004 over here. But then they had the spin-off series.
Right.
Beyblade Metal Fusion, Beyblade Metal Masters, Beyblade Metal Fury. Then it was Bay Wheels, which I forgot existed. Then it was Beyblade Burst Evolution, Beyblade Burst Turbo. And you may say, well, why do we care if they're making a Beyblade movie? No, you don't understand. They're making a live-action Beyblade movie, and it's being made by Jerry Bruckheimer.
I don't know which one I've seen. I can't say seen. Walked by while one of the Rotten Children were watching it.
Right.
And I understood the cartoon. It made sense. The competition, the game of death type situation where, you go up levels. You're going to come up with, got to add a new piece. I mean, it's to sell toys.
Right.
And yeah, like I grew up with Transformers GI Joe. I get it.
You're right,
It's good.
right.
It's good. It's fine. Going through that, but man, how do you? I don't know. I mean, where do you start with the live action? Are these going to be like huge? Or are they going to be like over the little red thing? Or is this going to be about like some kid in high school that gets beat up for playing Beyblade? And,
Is this because
makes
of
a
the
million dollar on it?
Detective Pikachu movie that they're like? Because like, look, in that world, Beyblades will absolutely hurt people. Like people they get connected to their bit beast that's in their Beyblade, and then when the Bay takes damage, the person takes damage. Like it's the story gets deep. Look, all I'm saying is original. I'm an original Beyblade like connoisseur. I'm a lore guy, right? I'll sit here and I'll talk to you about the Blade Breakers. I'll sit here and I'll talk to you about Kai and Dronzer, and I'll sit here and go dun 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 dun, dun let's Beyblade all day long, right? All day long. It gets nuts. At one point, they make a clone of Dragoon, and he's Cyber Dragoon, and they give the cyber versions of the Bit Beast to these kids, and these kids that try to fight up against the Blade Breakers, and the Cyber Bit Beast take over their mind, and the guy that plays with Cyber Dragoon is like standing on the top of this ledge, and he's like, if you don't surrender, I will throw this child off the cliff. And Tyson's like, I'll never quit. And then he throws the child off the cliff.
They're tops.
Yeah. But they have spirits of ancient animals in them.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah, straight red and blue. Zoids would be cool too, man. Zoids. Oh, give me a Zoids live action movie. That'd be great. All I'm saying is, if you've never seen Beyblade, just do yourself a favor and go watch the English dub OP or the English dub version. It's the opening theme song is really good.
I don't know. I've stepped on a Beyblade.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the dark. That's
Which Bit Beast attacked you? Was it Drigger
I don't know.
or was it Drasil?
I don't know. It
They
was
had this
terrifying.
weird thing with the main characters where like all four of their Bit Beasts started with D. Dragoon, Dronzer, Drigger, and Drasil. And then they had a fifth one that was stuck inside a computer. And it was Dizzy.
Okay.
Maybe never say that one again. Look, I didn't make it. They made it. They made it. I didn't make it. He's a lion. He's a white lion with like a white tiger with like stripes, and he controls lightning, and he goes really fast. And I have that Beyblade somewhere in this house. I made my own Beyblade OC when I was a kid,
Ah.
and I had a cheap knockoff because my parents wouldn't buy me Beyblades. Because my mom bought me a Beyblade, and it was Drasil, and he had like a metal tip. And I ran him across the wood flooring in the house and ruined the wood flooring. But she wouldn't buy me any more Beyblades. So she bought me the cheap knockoff versions. And so I made like a Meteor OC Beyblade with a Bit Beast and everything. And then my uncles bought me Beyblades anyway. So I have them here at the house somewhere. Listen to Dragoon OC. Nice. I don't blame you. So I'm just saying, Beyblades are cool. What the heck is this movie gonna be, though?
I don't know. I was like, is it going to be a Beyblade? It says it's going to be a Beyblade movie, not a movie that has Beyblades in it.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to do like make it just so astronomical. Because look, in some of the cartoons, those Beyblade pits, if you used yours in there, it would die before it got to the other side.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You'd have two Beyblades laying 2 feet from each other and just
Right. Yeah. This is
You know.
definitely gonna be CG, right? The Beyblades are all gonna be CG. This movie is being
Yeah.
made in the U.S. as far as we know,
Okay, well, I don't know. We'll have to see.
but
Hmm.
we'll see. Beyblade. Look, you
Beyblade.
can't say Beyblade too many times in a row before it all just starts to mush together.
I've been saying it that way the whole time.
This one is also kind of weird, but I'm excited for it. Nier Automata is getting a anime. I can't spell tonight.
Well, I mean, it's just it already is.
Yeah, it very
So
much is. So like,
so so cool.
I think
Definitely watch it. Yes.
I'm excited to watch it for sure. Because again, I want to hear remixes of some of those songs. But I'm a little concerned because some of the best story stuff in Nier Automata can only be done as a video game.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to replicate that. But also, if I know Yoko Taro, and I do, I know this man at this point, I'm in his head. And yet somehow he surprises me every time. I feel like I could sit down with Yoko Taro at a restaurant and I could tell you what he would order, and then he would reach down under the table and pull out a hamburger bag from Rallies that he ordered earlier in the day and has been holding on to eat at the restaurant with you instead of the food that you thought he was going to order. But this will wind up being alternate canon to the main timeline and also be canon. I guarantee you it's what's going to happen. Nier Replicant came out, remake of the first game, has new stuff in it, alternate canon, still canon. The FF14 stuff with Nier, it's canon, even though it doesn't make sense for it to be canon, but also it does, because Yoko Taro is a maniac and a genius.
After the past few years of what shouldn't be canon becoming canon, and then all of a sudden, like alternate canon, that phrase, I don't know.
I agree.
I'm a little uncomfortable with it.
I
That sounds like a
agree.
marketing ploy. Like, ooh, this
But
fails.
trust
No,
me,
that was alternate canon. Yeah,
he's
this
a
is different.
madman.
He's a madman.
Yeah, A2 needs to be in it for sure, and I need to see my boy 9S. Give me nines. So I'm excited. You know what else I'm excited about?
No, but I bet you got. Tell me what you got.
Pokemon Legends Arceus is already getting updates.
Not gonna be to the graphics.
Why 2B is called 2B? There's a really good story there. Yeah, it's not to the graphics, no.
Because if he wasn't, then he'd be not to be. Sorry.
Yeah, there is a reason why 2B is 2B. No, it's very cool to me to see that this game has just come out and they're like, yeah, here's version 1.1.0. It's got a name. It's called Daybreak. New story stuff, new Pokemon showing up. We're gonna keep updating this game. Don't worry about it. Like, that's cool. You know, it's
Nintendo works like the mob.
they do. I didn't expect an update this soon. I mean, you look at some of their stuff. When was the last time Super Mario Odyssey got an update? The Luigi update, 8 months after release.
Yeah, Pokemon's different though.
Yeah.
Pokemon's and especially because we've talked about this game a couple of times already, and I've talked about how it definitely looks like from the outside, it's like, okay, this looks like a Pokemon game for people who grew up with Pokemon.
Yeah.
And now they're older, and they want something a little bit more to it. And I don't know. I have a feeling this does seem like something they're going to get, that they're a new direction for them to head.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you look at Pokemon and what we get here, we get the soft version. We get the how we used to call it, the Care Bear version, right?
Sure.
Of some of the stories and some of the things, kind of like
Yeah.
even in the cartoons, there's stuff that's blurred out or not shown over here per se. Not per se, it happens. There's
Right.
stuff that's not shown over here. You have to go see the original cartoon to see some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it almost seems like we set in the stage. You're going, hey, all these, yes, Pokemon is a kid thing, but all these people have grown up a little bit, and we want to do, kind of like how Breath of the Wild felt. We want this to appeal and grow with the audience that grew up with Pokemon. It's going to get harder, darker, bigger. So I'm glad they're supporting it. Nintendo's weird, man. It's its own little island in this weird big battle of the consoles and studios and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad. I'm glad they're supporting a AAA game, because this doesn't, this didn't happen before. It's kind of a new thing as far as gaming history goes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You put out the game, and unless it was you put out the game and just let it be.
That's what you got.
And then there came the time when everyone started getting connected, where you let the game, and if there was problems with it, then you put out a patch to fix it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, we can grow this game.
Mm-hmm.
and go with it. So the fact that they're taking Pokemon was a big IP.
Yeah.
You know, they could easily step away from this title and start working on the next
Yeah.
one, and I don't think anybody would blink. So it's interesting that they're pushing it and really and now we're expanding.
I agree. I agree. Hopefully, they add all the other Pokemon to it as well. Because I think that'd be really cool. But they're going to have to add some more regions if they're going to do that. Some more maps. Because otherwise, those maps are going to be overloaded.
Well, you know they're not going to do all that. No, it'll be.
Yeah, it won't be all of them, but
It'll be a couple regions. This is my thing. You'll get a couple regions to explore. I think they're going to handle it like you would an MMO, right?
yeah,
Hey, everybody's got the max level now. We need some more in-game content to keep this.
right.
And since it's a single player game, they don't have to worry about the front end of it.
Yeah,
You know, now they got to do is worry about in-game content, so to speak, and keep adding on.
yeah.
And so
That's true.
imagine if this goes as successful as I'm sure they've got numbers,
Right.
they've got ideas in their head, and if this hits that numbers, this hits those projections or whatever, this is a path that they'll follow on, and this might you might end up with all kinds of regions, even more travel, and things. Which is hey, if the game's solid enough to handle the expansion and keep it interesting, go for it, man.
Do you think they'll go that far, or do you think they'll just put out another one of these later on?
Well, everything's based.
Because my gut says we'll get like one more map. They'll add like 40 more Pokemon, and then it'll be, hey, next up is Pokemon Legends Celebi or Pokemon Legends Mew.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know because
That would be nice.
they can carry they can carry this title out, make it more filled with stuff. Yeah, but they can I think they can carry this out one maybe two maybe three more. Like I
Yeah.
said, they've got projections; those numbers hit it because if they can carry this through, and everything's split up between studios and Nintendo gets its cut and all that. But man, just imagine if they can carry this and keep this in the news
Yeah,
until they get ready to drop Breath of the Wild.
true.
They keep this in the news till Breath of the Wild drops, and Nintendo's in everybody's mouth
Yeah.
all year,
That's true.
all year long.
Very true.
And and those discussions are ready for it because I'm ready for Breath of the Wild. I know a lot of other people are.
Yeah.
Waited with bated breath, so to speak. So
That's how it is.
it may go out longer.
That is not the chat window cutting off Rundgren, I don't think. I think. Oh, is it cutting into Rundgren's screen a little bit? I thought it was just where he's sitting in the camera. Is it
might
cutting
be.
in?
I can't tell.
I see it. It is cutting in just the smallest amount. What the heck?
Oh, you can drive
Can
me
I?
nuts now.
Can I move it down without ruining everything?
Put my shirt over it so you can see, right? Lean over a little bit. Get over a little bit more. I was going the wrong way. Hold on.
I think it might be the overlay doing it too.
Gosh.
I'm gonna see that
All right.
forever now. I'll fix that after this podcast.
There you go.
We do have some other Pokemon news too.
Yes.
Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet were out. Not Violet, Violet.
Pokemon Violence. I'm ready. Now I'm playing Pokemon.
It's cool, new Pokemon
this is-
games.
Are they new?
Yeah, they're brand new. They're not remakes. They're brand new Gen 9, brand new
Okay.
Pokemon, brand new Pokemon games. They showed off the starters. I am well documented as somebody that doesn't care about graphics. I'll play this for sure anyway. I just love catching Pokemon. Graphically, they don't look amazing. And they're supposed to be coming out this year.
Are they trying to grab onto that Game Boy Advanced kind of nostalgia? Because I'm trying to think of the series. You'll probably tell me when you get what I'm talking about. There was a series over, I think it was Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, where like Pokemon was dominating.
Yeah.
Was it Red and Blue? Emerald was one of the one at
It
that
was
time.
Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
ones.
okay. Maybe Sapphire and Emerald. So they were red and blue. It just wasn't
Yeah.
covered in blue. So yeah,
Well,
Ruby
that's
Sapphire
been the
Emerald.
thing the whole time, is trying to do red and blue, but with different things. Gold and silver was different, but like Ruby Sapphire, Diamond and Pearl was gold and silver again, and then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, Sword and Shield X and Y are outliers, I guess, but Sun
I
and
don't know.
Moon, red and blue. You know.
There seemed to be over the past few Pokemon games, they seemed to hit like this plateau, and it was getting even to diehard Pokemon fans. Not I'm not one, but listening to them, where it's just like yeah, but.
Yeah.
And of course, with every game, you're gonna have yeah, buts. But with this Arceus, the yeah, buts aren't the same.
Right. It's a very different.
As yes,
I know it
yeah.
looks bad, but it's fun to play anyway, so I don't care. You know?
But so it's like that's why I think the DLC or this extra content for it is such a big. They're still gonna obviously they're still gonna try this Scarlet and Violet, and yeah, I agree with Dark. There's people that are gonna buy out there and buy them. You probably you may buy, you may wait for a sale.
Right.
Diehard Pokemon fans, but I think there's something after this year. I think there's a big turn in what they're going to do with Pokemon.
I'm such a sucker. I gotta have that fire Pokemon alligator, the fire alligator starter. I gotta have him. There is some more Pokemon news coming, but there's also other stuff to come. Don't worry.
I got I understand. I get for most part I can't stand people who put out signature guitars.
Right.
That being said, if Adam Jones from Tool's signature guitar wasn't cheapest version wasn't $6,000, I would probably have one.
Well, my two favorite genres, I've said this before on the podcast, my two favorite genres for video games are Metroidvanias and monster collecting games. And there just aren't that many other options, really, that are quality monster collecting. There's a lot of monster collecting games that aren't quality. But you got Digimon, which we're going to talk about Digimon in a little bit, Pokemon, and Dragon Warrior Monsters, Dragon Quest Monsters. And Dragon Quest Monsters coming back, thank goodness. But Digimon had Cyber Sleuth, and Hacker's Memory, and those were really great. And Pokemon, Digimon, Dragon Quest Monsters, they're just, when it comes to them and everything else, like you look at Tim was the one that was supposed to kill Pokemon. It's like, it's just not that fun to play. You look at Disc Creatures, it's not that fun to play. I had some fun with Monster Sanctuary, but it's not the same,
And Monster Rancher coming back never got off the ground. It happened like 3 times. They're going to bring that game back.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out ways to do it. So yeah, you're right. There's not a lot out there if you want to enjoy doing that.
I just want to collect cool monsters and level them up into really cool monsters that do really cool stuff.
Yes.
And that's, I got Pokemon for that. So I'll level that little fire gator up and see him turn into something really cool and maybe love it, maybe hate it. I do think Tim would have been better single player. I also think it had some issues with the stamina system that were deep seated into that game, and that I don't know that it would have been able to get over. Let's move on to the news.
All right, a little bit of news to go over.
Let's talk about the Shin Japan Heroes universe.
I think this cracks me up.
This is such a weird thing.
It is, yeah, because they're adding one.
Yeah,
basically. And
Hideaki Anno is a great auteur, right? He makes some really cool stuff. He made Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is one of my least favorite mech shows that's ever been made. And it's always praised as like the god of mecha shows. It's the one that's about the characters. Unlike other mech shows, this one's about the characters.
Hold on, are you talking about 1.0101 or 2.02202
yeah, that's
or
the problem.
Yeah.
Evangelion sometimes can be a little pretentious, and the fans even more so, right? But at the core of it, there's a good story there, and Anno is a good storyteller. He likes to make cool stuff, he likes tokusatsu, he likes anime, he likes mechs. He made Evangelion, he made a bunch of other stuff, and more recently, he made Shin Godzilla, and is working right now on Shin Kamen Rider. and Shin Ultraman is on the way. And so the Shin Japan Heroes universe is like bringing all of the Shin versions together, which almost confirms, I guess, that we're going to get Shin Evangelion. Which is like, oh, okay. Tell that story a fifth time. Why don't
Okay,
you?
as long as 5.5055,
Yeah,
as long as
yeah.
Godzilla wipes them all at him, okay.
Yeah, I agree. Godzilla just wrecks everything. Heck yeah. I think it's also really weird because Godzilla and Ultraman has crossed over before, right? Ultraman and Kamen Rider has crossed over before. Not like officially, but there are references in the series. So it's just really weird to me to be like, but now they're in the same universe. It's like, well, they kind of were already.
Well, definitely Ultraman and Godzilla, because they've appeared. They've had the crossover. They've appeared in games together.
Yes.
And I want to say that in I guess it'd be manga or comic books.
Yeah.
Together. Now I don't know about Kamen Rider. Having any of those crossovers, but I know Ultraman and Godzilla, and Godzilla obviously has got his own MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
As well.
Godzilla has fought Ultraman monsters too, which is really interesting. And then in Kamen Rider, they have a Ultraman basically as a rider. Kamen Rider J is their version of an Ultraman, and he is just a living reference. There's a moment where Kamen Rider J, when he transforms, he does this to like make the J with his hand, and when Ultraman does his beam, it's this. Yeah. So it's like, it's all connected already. So it's just really weird to call them a Shinji 100%.
I think I think honestly, outside, I think this might have a little bit to do with it. I think this is a move for the American marketing side.
Yeah, I agree.
More than anything to do with Japan, because I don't think they'd have any trouble. I don't think this is a big announcement in Japan.
No,
I think this gets noise here.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait a minute.
It only gets noise here because of Godzilla and Evangelion, right? Like the U.S. Ultraman fan base and the U.S. Kamen Rider fan base is not huge. Hopefully, Shin Kamen Rider and Shin Ultraman can change that.
Well, but I think that thing they know well enough that they've got groups here.
Yeah.
And they make this announcement, and that gets those groups here, looking across at maybe some other groups.
Yeah.
Maybe, those people that love those old MonsterVerse, the original MonsterVerse movies, old Godzilla with Mothra and all that, Son of Godzilla and all that. Yeah. And now they can kind of laugh, because they've got this goes over into the thing. So I think it's much an American marketing thing, and I hope it works for them, because I don't know, it just brings a smile to my face.
I agree. I also think that for anybody who doesn't know, one of the coolest announcements we got from all this wasn't even anything to do with the universe. It's the confirmation that the guy that played Takeshi Hongo, the original Kamen Rider, his son is playing the original Takeshi Hongo, the original Kamen Rider in Shin Kamen Rider. And it's just, that's a really nice touch. Hideaki Anno, for however I may feel about Evangelion, is an incredible writer, and going, yeah, well, no, we got to cast his son. Like, that's so genius.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, just another reason for those who know to talk about it, Yeah. And to give some respect.
And hopefully, we'll get some more stuff come from that.
Yeah.
Speaking of respect, let's talk about SRWW. Super Robot Wars W finally gets a fan translation. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Super Robot Wars, very long series. Super Robot Wars 30 just came out on Steam, and that's great. Before that was Super Robots V, T, and X, which you could play on consoles. Super cool, right? Just import them, you can play them. Super Robot Wars 30, you can just play world release, super cool. It was not always that way, right?
Well, you got a video on 30, you put out not too long ago, right?
Yeah, not too long ago at all. It's very cool to be able to play these games in English when they launch, but for a long time we didn't have that option.
Yeah.
And Super Robot Wars W is kind of an outlier in that it's widely considered to be one of the best games, but it's on the DS. And getting the script out of a DS to be able to translate it is already a lot of work. The developers never would, right?
Mm.
And so this fan translation has been in the works for like 10 to 12 years.
Golly.
And it has finally released. So if you've ever heard me make the gun Leon reference in a video, it comes from W. And you can finally play W with a fan translation. So, find that on your completely legitimate PC version of the DS. And you can play that today. It's super cool that that's available now. Fan translation saving games that just would have died in obscurity in a lot of ways because nobody could play them.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing about the age we're in.
Yep.
Is you've got so much access to stuff that might have been forgotten otherwise.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. Good job to those translators because I know that was a ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is a ton of work? Making a video game. And Digimon Survive may not survive.
I like Digimon. I like Digimon a lot more than Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I understand why it falls short and why Pokemon is so big, because the Digimon, only a few people can have a Digimon. Anybody can have a Pokemon.
Right.
You could have a Pokemon through this. But yeah, and look, like I said, I like Digimon. The games have not been good.
Yeah.
I think the PS2 was the last one I tried to play, and it was no.
Recently, they gave out. There's Digimon games come out all the time, but Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory for PS4 and PC and Switch, very, very good games. Very good games.
Okay.
But the same year we had Last Order was released, and it was not a very good game. The Digimon MMO on PC is atrocious. It's not even bad. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Digimon World 1 is completely obscure and hard to understand, but it can be a fun game. Digimon World 2 is a really good dungeoneering game, But Digimon World 3 is completely different. Digimon World 4 is completely different, And they keep cranking out these Digimon games that are all very different from each other, and some of them are great. Most of them are not. And we're worried about Survive.
Well, like the thing with Digimon, right? They yes, Pokemon evolve, but that's not. You never have to evolve Pokemon, right?
Right.
Like the cartoon has gone on, and Pikachu hasn't evolved,
Right.
Ash hasn't got any better as a trainer.
Nope.
But in Digimon, the whole thing is about the evolution.
Yeah.
And then you training and work with it. I don't know. They've never had the interaction between the Digimon and your character. It's always been like, okay, there it is.
Right.
Well, it's like, well, yeah, that's just basically like having a cool. Yeah, okay, it's a cool gun in a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
No.
Cyber Sleuth literally goes, yeah, they're kind of just programs. You just, they're programs. There's a cool moment at the end of it, but for the most of that game, it's just, yeah, they're programs. They fight for you. But where Cyber Sleuth really shines is that you can digivolve them into a bunch of different Digimon, and so you have like the trees, and you can arc out, and so you can start with one Digimon, and by the end you have like a completely different line to get there, which is really nifty. But a new Macross game would be great.
Yeah, I'd never turn that down.
We don't know how Digimon Survive is going to handle Digivolution, but what we do know is that it's probably not coming out this year. This is now 2 years of delays.
That's just not good.
It has completely switched development studios.
Yeah, that's even worse.
It was originally being made by Witchcraft, and now it's being made by Hyde. It was originally supposed to be a Digimon tactics game, like Digimon Final Fantasy Tactics, basically, which looked really cool. Who knows what it's going to be now?
I don't know.
Habu, one of the leader devs, Kazumasa Habu, the producer, says that it's going to be part text adventure and part tactical RPG. 7 parts text adventure, 3 parts RPG. And you can bring up to 10 units in battle. But we don't yet know what any of it means.
I'm calling it. This game's a scratch. This game's not going to come out.
I
don't
want it
think.
to so bad, but I'm afraid you're right.
You know, hey, look, this year it's been about stuff that we want to be great that's not going to be.
Yeah.
And now that happens, that's happened on a few things this year. So I think, look, like I said, I'm a much bigger fan of Digimon than I'm a Pokemon, and I don't have any hope. None.
Yeah. It's also really weird. At the end of the interview, he mentions the languages it's going to get translated into, and I've never seen them do that at the end of an interview, but the list is so short. English, German, Italian, French, and Spanish. That's it. That is it.
Yeah, I don't know why they would mention that. Now, look, that list is pretty standard. If you go through, 3 to 5 is kind of standard,
Right.
and German and French are usually pretty solid on
But
there.
if you bring it up, surely that means you got a
why-
long list.
Yeah, you're bringing something new to the table. I don't know why that would be new, unless you got nothing else to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid, is that,
You know.
look, Hanjumamon and Lady Devimon are both super cool, and I support the fact that you want them in the game. You know what's not going to be in the game? Smash is not going to be at EVO. Nintendo has put their foot down.
It doesn't surprise me.
So, anybody that has forgotten, maybe, Sony bought EVO last year. And EVO put out a statement saying, please join us March 8th at 5 p.m. On twitch.tv/EVO for the EVO 2022 announcement show. While we're thankful for all the amazing games joining us later this year in Las Vegas, we want to let you know in advance that Super Smash Bros. Will not be making a return appearance. Since 2007, we've seen historic Super Smash Bros. Moments created at EVO events. However, we are saddened that Nintendo has chosen not to continue that legacy with us this year. In the future, we hope to once again celebrate the Super Smash Bros. Community alongside them.
Yeah, no. We've talked. This ties into a discussion we had not too long ago about E3. And is it even a thing? Does they need to have it?
Right.
And there's a couple others where we can talk about that's kind of a pointless thing now. And mentioned just a few minutes ago about Nintendo's kind of an island, and I think they're going to keep that mentality. They're going to come. They're going to no. You want to know what Nintendo releases? You want to see gameplay footage? You watch Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
That's where we'll have it.
To clarify,
I'm afraid,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I think that's how everything's going to go. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think that's how everything's going to go. You're going to end up seeing that. Sony will have its own thing. Microsoft has its own thing. Nintendo's going to have its own thing.
Yeah. To clarify for chat, the reason it won't be there is not because they can't have it there. They absolutely could. It's because Nintendo has asked them not to, and they're honoring that wish. They absolutely could still stream it anyway. It's theirs, but they own the game. But they've specifically been asked not to, and so they're not.
Yeah. Well, how long did it take to get some of those characters in there that people were begging for years?
Long time.
From the Sony side. So it's you're talking, especially when you're talking about Sony and Nintendo, you're going to be delving into Japanese business practices, and all that. So, like that, I think as the years go on, you want stuff from Nintendo, you're going to go to Nintendo Direct or some form or fashion of that. If you want the Sony stuff, and that's how it's going to be. And I'm afraid it might hurt the smaller developers, a little bit, or it may be good for them because they might be the only thing appearing on 2 or 3 of them.
I also get why people are upset about this. I do. I get it. But at least EVO will be safer for the children because there won't be the Smash Predators there. And you know what? EVO's going to smell better too.
Well, silver lining.
Just saying. I will still be watching EVO. I'll be enjoying my Guilty Gear gameplay. And, I'll be glad that there won't be any of those people that have been doing terrible things to children in EVO this year.
Yeah.
Because Smash won't be there. I'm just saying, I love Smash Brothers. I've played it for many, many years. I really do like it. But Smash, your community is terrible. We'll move on. We do have a couple more quick Pokemon updates. Just some things for anybody that's playing those games from the Pokemon Presents. If you are playing Pokemon Go, they're adding Alola Pokemon to Pokemon Go. If you're playing Pokemon Masters EX, which is their gacha game, you're supposed to be able to get a bunch of free summons. I did it, and it wasn't as many summons as I thought it was going to be, and I was like, it's fine, and just uninstalled the game again. Pokemon Cafe Remix is adding in some new stuff. If you play that, go for it. I tried to download that because I was going to make a video on it, and the game refuses to update on my phone. So my phone's relatively new, but just a heads up on that. If you're playing Pokemon Unite, they have some new stuff going on there, including some festival stuff. After my experience with the other two games, I just didn't re-download Pokemon Unite. I was like, you know what, I'm done. If
they
you're
didn't
playing...
unite anything.
we're done here. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl are adding in super contest shows and the Shaman event for a little while. So if you play those, you should pick that up while you can. You can get Shaman for free. But yeah, that's the other stuff that was really announced. The Pokemon Presents. Just quick little, hey, here you go.
Right on.
Then finally, we have some announcements from Game Pass and Humble for March. Which is some pretty cool stuff here. We have for Game Pass, Far Changing Tides and Microsoft Flight Simulator are available today.
Is that the new Microsoft Flight Simulator?
It is, but it's only available through the cloud.
Yeah, well, yeah. Some people I don't think I can play that.
Right.
I don't have the right Xbox One.
Yeah, unfortunately. Coming soon, though, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. Kentucky Route Zero. Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Yeah.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that'll be good.
That game did very well last year.
Yeah.
And Young Souls.
Souls.
Don't know anything about that one myself yet. But if you are a Game Pass subscriber, you might want to get on some of these other games because they're going to be leaving soon. Nier Automata is leaving soon. Young Souls is a fantastic little game. Awesome. Fogs, Torchlight 3, and The Surge 2 are all leaving. So keep that in mind. The Xbox app is also getting some new stuff this month, they announced, which is pretty cool. You can mod more games, and it's giving more mod options, which is really nice. You'll be able to play around with some of the files, which means you can install mods for games that were not able to be installed on before because you couldn't mess with the files.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. And you now have the option to choose what folder you install them to.
Ooh.
That's taken a very long time. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't understand, especially when you're dealing with people who have a PC.
Yeah.
In this day and age, the way things run, the way people run hard drives and stuff, if you especially, maybe not on a laptop, but your storage drive is probably going to be different than your hard drive. You have a small, fast hard drive to boot up, and then you have a storage, you know. And I've have some of the studio software that I use. I had to do work around on a couple of them to get them because I didn't have any room. It's like, please do not install on my, boot up drive.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's kind of ridiculous.
Can you save your saves to a USB? I believe you can on an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Game grass.
Yeah.
The Humble Choice options for this month are very interesting. And I'm curious to hear, for anybody who doesn't know, Humble Choice is the new Humble Bundle monthly thing where you get to choose between 12 games. If you have the premium subscription, you get all 12 games every month, which is very cool. Might just be 10 games. 1, 2, 3, 8 right here. There'll be some more coming. But it's pretty cool. It's a nice thing. I'm curious what your thoughts on this list is going to be. So, Manamadon, I don't know. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
How much is the service?
It's pretty reasonable. I think it's like 12 games for $12.
Yeah. Okay.
Desperado 3,
That's
which
cool.
is like still a like $40 game, I believe.
Yeah,
Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
that's definitely worth $1.
That's all 3 games.
Yeah, yeah, even with those endings.
Chicken Police,
Oh, I don't know
eh,
that one.
Evans Remains, which is an incredible
Yeah,
story platformer. Love that game.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
see my review on this channel. Police Stories, which is a really interesting. I don't word it without spoiling too much. It's a really interesting narrative game. Put it that way.
Police Story.
Police Stories, yeah,
That's actually an old. That's like old as
yeah,
King's Quest series.
yeah. And then Nebuchadnezzar. So Desperados 3 and Mass Effect Legendary alone to me are worth it. But if you've never played Evans Remains, that is a really, really cool story with a pretty fun platformer. So
That's kind of a weird list. It's a good list, I
yeah,
think. Even though there's games on there that I'm like, yeah.
yeah,
But that's kind of that's a pretty varied list.
it is. I'm pretty excited about it because the last couple of months have been kind of just like, well, there's some cool stuff in here, but I'm not so sure, you know. But this month is very nice, very
Yeah.
very nice.
And so it's monthly. So you got a month to play them.
No, you own them forever.
Oh dang. Okay. Wow.
You did for
That's
just a second see my background. I don't know which one it was this time. Let's see. It's that's theme. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one of them. I've got a lot of
one.
backgrounds. It cycles through them. It was Kamen Rider Build earlier, and before that was Kamen Rider Double. But without a shirt and a gun, well, at least he had a gun. No, this is a pretty good bundle for sure. And yeah, you own these games forever, which I think is the
Yeah.
best part about it
Pretty
because
worth
they
it.
give you
No,
keys
that's
that you
good.
can use on Steam.
Okay. Fair enough, man. That's pretty damn good.
Nebuchadnezzar is a city builder that came out last year based on Babylon.
And like, I wouldn't be able to play that game without giggling, but I'm
Right.
not going into that right now.
Classic isometric city builder game.
Mm, okay.
That is all the news that I have for this week. So we will throw it over to Rungrid's Corner.
All right. Well, I got a couple things. I've got 3 birthdays today. This March 1st. I'd like to say happy birthday to Aragorn, Chun-Li, and Ron Weasley.
Yeah. Boy, that's a spread, huh?
And I'm birthday to all 3 of them. I'm sure they are watching. Just like
Aragorn and
Megan,
Chun-Li would be friends.
shoot ya. And Ron Weasley want to hang out with him.
Yeah, he would. He would want to, whether he would actually get to.
Okay, I got a story today. Ron
Okay.
Weasley. Okay. This is from the Republic of North Macedonia.
Okay.
Now, some of you might have an idea of where Macedonia sits. You may not. If you know Greek history and you're thinking of Macedonia, it's kind of that area. It's landlocked. It's there in southeastern Europe. If you look at it, you got Romania and Moldova, whatever they're like 2 countries, and there's Ukraine.
Right.
Turkey's not too far from them. If you drew a big circle about 500 miles out from this country, you'd be like, okay, there's a lot of stuff
Right.
going on that is going to go. The president of this country, it's the Republic of North Moldova. They've been they got their independence. When was it 2008? I think.
Okay.
So they haven't been company long anyway. But if you're from the Republic of North Macedonia and watching Zdravo, the okay, the president there, his name is Stevo. I'll probably pronounce this wrong. It is Stevo though.
Okay.
Stevo Pendarovsky. Okay. So I'm gonna, he'll come into play later. But I want to talk about this little Macedonian girl named Embla Edema.
Okay.
Adama Edema. 11-year-old girl. Now this 11-year-old girl, she has Down syndrome, and she was allowed. She was going to public school though,
Right.
and she's 11 years old. So she's been going for a couple of years. Uh, the well, some of the other students in class parents were complaining at home or out about this girl being in class with their students,
Right.
and of course their children heard this and really came down hard and bullied her. To where this 11-year-old little girl did not want to go to school.
Right.
So this got back to the president, Stevo Benderovsky,
Yeah.
Stevo Benderovsky, and of course, he got on TV, made a big speech how he needed to stand up for everybody, and said he would have somebody look into it. No, 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 no. He heard about it, so he left the capital and he drove 65 kilometers, which is about 37.28 freedom units.
Isn't this man a politician?
He's a president.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's actually a human being?
Yes. So so he drove 65 kilometers or 37.28 freedom units, or if you're from Texas, about 45 minutes. That's how we do time distance down here. It's in time.
That's true. That's very true.
That's the way they do it on the map. Gosh
Yeah.
darn it. But so he left the capital of Skopje. He went to her house and met with her family, spent the day with them. Found out what she was going through. Found out what he did is he went there and got the information. Talked to her parents. Okay, it's okay. She has Down syndrome. So what is she dealing with? Because that obviously that can
Yeah.
there's lots of forms of
absolutely.
that and how they go. One of that. And then, dude, the president of the country, the next day walked her to school, into class. Now, I'm going to give you the official statement from his political office. Okay.
Right.
The president stressed that the behavior of those who in any way endanger the rights of children is unacceptable, especially when it comes to children with atypical development. They should not only enjoy the rights they deserve, but also feel equal and welcome to the school desks and schoolyards. It is our obligation as a state, but also as individuals, and the key element is this mission, and this common mission is empathy. Now, like I said, if you look on the map where it is, this guy doesn't have time.
Right.
Okay, and it's just this is a leader of a company. Like I said, he could have easily just got on TV
Yeah.
and
Made a statement.
made a little statement on
Yeah.
and all that. But this is what the president says, Stevo Penderovsky. And this is outside. Like I said, that was the official statement. What I said,
Yeah.
but he said, "We are all equal in this society. I came to give my support and to raise awareness that inclusion is a basic principle." And this was just his words of doing it. And they are going to open a probe into this to see if anyway, if the school make sure
Right.
that, the school is not discriminating and all that and
Right.
everything. But the stories I was looking through that just really touched me because that's not what you're going to hear. Anytime you see
Yeah.
a world leader on TV or hear a statement today, it's going to be, flexing their muscles
Right.
or telling us that they're doing something, that
Using
they can't do.
buzzwords.
Yes. And this is just a human thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the president of the country walks in holding this little girl's hand. It's like, no, she goes to school here.
Yeah.
I don't know if a clearer statement could be made in a better way.
I agree. I agree.
I just,
Yeah, that's
so,
awesome.
yeah.
Props to him for sure.
Yeah. I definitely want to give him a call out. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But that's my story. I know it's a little short today, but that one kind of got to me and I was reading it. And I was like, you
Yeah.
know what, I'm telling you, and this is the one.
That's a very good one. I'm glad you shared that with us. Thank you.
Mhm.
So anytime he wants to come on the podcast, he has the open invitation
Absolutely.
at all
sir.
times.
Absolutely. I can say hello to him, but then that's about as far as the intro goes.
Right. Oh, I will look. I'm not even joking. I will make a full layout just to be able to get him in here if he ever wants to come on. 100%. 100%.
Good leader is good. Definitely.
All right. Well, you got any plugs?
Um, yeah, so we'll make sure I want to shout out us
Hmm.
on Full Spectrum. If you'd like to support us for $1 a month, we have links on this page. If you're watching on Twitch, should be in the
Yeah.
description. If you're watching on YouTube for $1 a month, you can get in the Full Spectrum Discord, where videos go up early. You can get to see all kinds of stuff. So definitely want to point that out. We could use your support. Just watching, please comment, like.
Yeah.
I want to really thank everybody that's watching right now, spending this time with us. You know how I feel about you. Took thousands and thousands of years and millions of people to make you. And everything, never ever been anything like you.
That's right.
Never will be again.
Right.
So I really appreciate you spending the time with us. I have got somebody I'll be getting in touch with this week. I just want to throw that out there. I haven't had a chance to get in touch with them yet. They know who they are. Yeah, I got my music up on Rumble.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's anything outside the that I caught this week, and it's I think my mind's gone blank, but I definitely wanted to call those out. So that was mine.
Absolutely. I want to plug, and this is a weird plug. I'm not going to get too political here, but I have just found out about it, and it was a couple months back that it all started. But there were a couple of YouTubers in London that decided to try and show how corrupt the voting process was in London, and how
Okay.
the youth weren't voting, and how
Mm,
everything was just based on how to word this nicely. Everything was just based on things going the way they always have. And they both decided to run for mayor of London. And the impact that they had is not small. And the two YouTubers are Max Fosh and Nico Umani, I think are their names. They both have a really interesting video on it, and how the
okay.
pushback that they got from the political parties on you're just playing around. It's like, well, no, we're trying to make a difference. And the
Mm.
number of youths that voted was drastically higher. And
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
great to see people trying to make things better and using their platform to try and make things better. So I'd
Mm.
recommend checking both those out. Those are very cool videos.
Yeah. Sounds like it. I like it.
And I was able to talk about it while staying just this side of talking about politics, which is awesome. So, we'll have some more stuff coming, of course. Thursday will be the D&D podcast, where we'll continue to finish up feats.
Yep. And we'll probably go into Boons.
Yeah. And then we'll have another regular episode next week. Video's still going up on the channel. I'm going to keep playing Elden Ring, so there'll be some more stuff to talk about there. And then hopefully this 40K stuff will be coming soon. But with all that said, I have been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
We've been the Full Spectrum Podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that life has to offer.